Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cotton and this is Cotton's Creations 42, and today we are going to learn how to make an adorable granny square ear warmer. So we're not going to be learning how to do this exact granny square. The tutorial for that is listed down below in the description, but what we are going to be learning is how to put everything together to make an adorable ear warmer. Are you ready? Let's get crocheting. Alright, so like I mentioned in my intro, this is not a tutorial where I'm going to show you how to make this specific granny square. That tutorial has already been written. It is the Starburst Granny Square by Stearns, and it is linked down below in the description. What this tutorial is going to be is I'm going to show you how to take any 4 or more granny squares, or less if you have a tiny head, and put them together into a super cute basic ear warmer. I mean, I just want to wear it on my head all the time. It's adorable. All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to need. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need are some granny squares. Now, these are ones that I made specifically for this project, but this tutorial would be a great way to use up any kind of leftover granny squares you have from maybe a project that you made too many for, or it didn't get finished and you don't know what to do with these granny squares that you have. Make presents for your friends. Or you could even, I had the idea of doing like an upcycle granny square ear warmer, but I was not able to find a granny square blanket in a thrift store before it was time to make this tutorial. So I just made some. Anyway, you have lots of options. I love options. But for this tutorial, these granny squares are about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches, and I have 4 of them. And when it's all said and done, it's going to be about 20 inches around in diameter, which is perfect for my head because I have a 22-inch head, and so a 20-inch ear warmer has a lot, as long as it has some ease in it, it is perfect for me. So make an ear warmer that's going to fit you. I highly recommend knowing the size of your head if you're going to get into knitting and hats. Like, you're going to know all the different sizes of your body by the end if you can make enough clothing. All right, so we're going to need 4 of those. We're going to need our yarn. We're going to need a crochet hook. This is a size G. It's the same one that I used to make those. We're going to need a darning needle and a pair of scissors, and that is it. All right, let's put this baby together. So we're gonna start out, and we just need 2 of our granny squares in the beginning. And we are going to take them and we are going to put them right sides together so that the back side is facing out on both. And now what we want to do is we want to kind of line up our stitches because we are going to be crocheting a single crochet through each stitch to sew these 2 together. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our crochet hook. We're going to go through that chain space in the corner, and we are going to pull up a loop like so, and then making sure we knot on our tail, we're going to chain 1. Boom, like that. Oh my gosh, we got started. Okay, now we are going to go through the first stitch on this side and the first stitch on this side. Now, something to keep in mind when you're going through all these stitches is that these are going opposite directions from each other, so they're going to look they're not going to look exactly the same when you're looking for which stitch you're going through. But just I think it's important to go through each one all the way down and try not to skip any, because then you can get like bunch ups or wavy parts. But also that adds character, right? It's all part of the process. Do what makes you happy. All right, so I went through those first 2 loops, and now I'm going to pull up a loop and just do a single crochet. And we're going to do that again. Go through the next one and the next one on the other side, pull up a loop, do a single crochet. Go through the next stitch, find the corresponding stitch on the other side, pull up a loop, single crochet. We are going to do this all the way down. And I will meet you back here at the end. So when you get to the end, you just want to do one last single crochet through the chain space in the corners, and then we are going to go ahead and cut this yarn and pull that out, and we'll weave that yarn in later. But now we are going to add our next one. Look at that. Now we're going to add our next one. So we'll make sure that we line it up correctly with wrong sides together. And then we're going to do the exact same thing where we go through the chain space in the corner, pull up a loop, oops, make sure we're not on our tail, chain one, and then crochet a single crochet all the way across, just like we did. We're going to do this for all four until all four are connected in a nice big circle. And then we'll probably weave in some ends so that we don't leave them all to the end, right? Because that is always a problem when you leave all your ends to the end. All right, I will meet you back here when the circle is complete. All right, so I have crocheted all of my granny squares together with a single crochet stitch. Look at that. Now before I go any further, I'm going to weave in a couple of these ends because if you leave them all to the end, it can be very overwhelming. So I've started listening to that part of myself that says, please do this as you go, especially with granny squares, because granny squares have a ton of ends to weave in. And so I've been trying to pay attention to that part of me. And I'm just going to weave it in through those single crochets that I made. We're going to go down one direction about halfway, and then back up the other direction, making sure that we're not pulling it too tight because we don't want it to be, we don't want our ends being woven in to make our ear warmer less stretchy. And then we'll go back up again just a little bit. Ta-da, and then I'm going to cut that excess off, and I'm going to do this for all of these ends that I have so that I don't have to worry about it later. And then I'll be right back and we will do the finishing touches of our ear warmer. All right, I finished weaving in those ends and I'm going to turn it right side out. Look at how cute that is. Now, if you wanted to, you could say, that's enough, I'm done, and be done. Totally up to you. I am not done though. I'm going to put a border around the top and the bottom of just a single crochets. So let's go ahead and do that. So how are we going to do that is we're going to go in between the two squares that we stitched together, and we're going to pick up a couple of loops. We're just going to try and go through one in the front and one in the back. Pretend it's a stitch. Even, I mean, it is a stitch. It's like a sideways stitch. And we're going to pull up a loop. And then we are going to chain one. And now we are going to move into that corner chain space. And we are going to do 2 single crochets. That's a 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Now I am going to single crochet into every stitch on this row. This is easy peasy. Oh, I love something that is so simple but yet looks super cool. And you can tell people you worked really hard at it because those granny squares took forever. Which sometimes they do. I saw some really cute star and moon granny squares that I'm really excited about making into an ear warmer. I think I might do that one next. All right, so we're coming up to the next corner space. Let's do that one, and we're going to go ahead and do 2 more single crochets into that corner space. And then we are going to go through the side of this stitch in the middle, just like that, as well as we can. And we're going to do a single crochet there as well. Now we're just going to repeat this until we get back to this side where we started, and I'll meet you back over there when I make it back around. See you in a bit. Okie doke, I made it all the way back around to where I started, and I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet into this middle part where I pulled up my first loop. So go ahead and single crochet that, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch into the very first crochet, single crochet that I did. I don't want to put it into my chain one. I want to put it into that stitch right up there. Just do a slip stitch like that to make it nice and even. Then we're going to go ahead and cut this yarn, and then I will pull this through and see how that just kind of gives it this nice finished look. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing on this side as well so that it's totally even, and then we will be done, y'all. Look at how cute this is. All right, so I'm going to do the other side, and then I will meet you back here with our finished product, I guess, because then after that it's just weaving in the ends, right? Awesome. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, y'all, look at this. We are totally done. I just finished weaving in the ends. I did it on the same way I did the other ones, just along the single crochet ridge on the inside. And it is so pretty and sparkly. I love it. All right. If you're interested, next week I am going to do a tutorial where I show you how to turn this crocheted ear warmer into a knit hat on circular needles. So make sure you subscribe if you aren't already, so it pops up in your feed when I post it. And if you're not interested in that, also very cool. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next week. Bye! Bonus Sunny Kitty content. Look at how cute she is.